It has come to my attention, someone actually asked to explain gear pitch. Gear pitch is nothing but the size of the teeth and the distance between the teeth. A lot more you're seeing mod .8, mod 1, and stuff like that, but there used to only be two main types of gear pitch, which was 32 and 64. I don't know what year it was, but Rob Robinson developed, was pretty much credited with popularizing 48 pitch. The 64 pitch gave a lot of different gearing options, but the teeth were so small that they were very prone to being stripped, especially put under heavy load. Essentially with gear pitch, you have to have the pinion and the spur to be the same gear pitch. There is two gear pitches that actually go together. That would be mod or module, but it's commonly referred to as mod. But mod .8 and 32 pitch. Let's see if I can find the actual mod .8 size. Well, I'll go ahead and go here. You probably not have heard of this, but there's metric 64 pitch and metric 48 pitch. They're common in Japanese kits. The correct term for these are module .6, which are the metric 48, which are actually 42.3. When you're, and then metric 64 or module .4 is actually 63.5. So it's very close, but not exact. Especially when talking about metric 48, it's actually 42.3 when it's 42.3, not 48. 42. Basically, with 32, 48, and 64, you take a 1-inch disc, and that's how many teeth can fit around that disc. Of course, the higher the number, the smaller the teeth are going to be, because you need to get more in that area. Usually you're going to see 64 teeth on pan cars. They're basically direct drive. I'll be doing another video getting into direct drive transmissions, belt driven, all that different stuff in another video, but this is gear pitch. But then you have 48 pitch, which I have a few cars that have 48 pitch. This HPI RS4 Sport 3 Flux. When I first got it, HPI, I love HPI, but from the factory, it was not the gear mesh, which is, I actually have a 48 here, right here, that was in this vehicle until I put the high speed. Mesh is talking about how well the pinion and the spur come together. You don't want them to be tight, you don't want them to be loose. Essentially, when you're doing this, you put a piece of paper between the pinion and the spur, put them together, don't tighten the motor down tight, but basically put a piece of paper, and that gives you the perfect gap. And then when you spin it, the piece of paper comes out. You don't want holes in it, you just want it to be crimped. But that's what mesh is. But that's essentially what gear pitch is: the size of the teeth, the distance from tooth to tooth, and how many are on a 1-inch disc. But then you get to Mod .4, Mod .6, Mod .8, Mod 1, Mod 1.5. Most of the, like Mod 4, Mod .6, you're going to see on Japanese kits mainly. The reason they have come out with a pretty much standardized size is so you could get, like, this car. This is my funny car. I decided I want to change the gearing in it. All I had to do was get a spur and a pinion of the same gear pitch. In this case, the spur is a Mod .8, but the pinion is a 32 pitch. 32 pitch and Mod .8. Mod .8 is, I believe, 32.5. Let me look real quick. I am using somewhat of a cheat sheet. I know most of this, but just to get everything 100%, I wanted to, there's a article on Facebook. It's entitled RC Tech Tips Understanding Gearing Ratios. So that's where I'm getting all this information from. Well, now my cast isn't working, so I'm gonna have to look down. But the words, most of the things right here are from Eric Reichert. So if you see me looking up, I'm trying to get all the exact numbers. So Mod .8. If it would hurry up. Okay, I'll read this real quick. Okay, it doesn't say the exact number for Mod .8. But I'm pretty sure it's 32.5 pitch. So there, half a tooth could be added. So it is very close. So it even says on, I have a Mod 8 right here, and it even says on the back, I don't know if that can be read, but it says compatible with 32 pitch gears. And then you have Mod 1. You have Mod 8, Mod .8. These are the ones you're going to see most often. Mod .8, Mod 1, and Mod 1.5. A lot of time in the past, gas vehicles such as my Losi DBXL or my Baja, which can't be seen, it's off camera, they used 32 pitch or Mod .8. Well, they came up with a bigger size, which is Mod 1.5. That's a pretty big. Mod .1 is 25.4, so one module. But they don't say anything about what exactly is Mod .8. Well, it's very close to 32 pitch. And you need to know all this when you go to change your gears, specifically your spur and your pinion. Because if you get a different pitch, it's not going to work. They'll line up at first, but then as you start spinning the pinion over the spur, at one point it will bind because the teeth will start trying to jump on top of each other. Or they simply won't fit. Especially with, like, if I was to put this 48 pitch on a .32 or a .8, it simply won't grab the teeth. But if you put like a mod .8 on a mod 1, it'll fit somewhat, but as you start spinning it, it will, wait. If you try to put these two together, you can actually see the different size of the teeth. And that's what all this is about, the size of the teeth. Mod .4, mod .6 is bigger than .4. .8 is bigger than .6 and .4. 1, mod 1 is bigger than .4, .6, and .8. And 1.5 is pretty much the biggest you're going to find. That's about the biggest they need in RC vehicles. Now, when you get into the transmission and things like that, or belt-driven cars, things are going to change somewhat. And there's a few different ways. You have direct drive, you have transmission, you have belt drive. There's several ways that the motor gets power to the wheels, and that'll be done, like I said, in another video. But specifically, there's a guy named, his name's Lenny. He has bought he started talking to me because I have a lot of X-Max videos. He started commenting on my X-Max videos, asking me questions, and he immediately wanted to get the Kershaw kit for it. I know there's a Poseidon kit for it, but you're going to pay about $80 to $90 more, and you're not going to get, I don't believe it comes with a spur. With the Kershaw kit, you get with the Kershaw kit, you get one pinion. And you can get it all at one place, and you can even get them to solder up whatever ESC you buy. If it's a Hobby Wing Max 6 or Max 5, a Castle XL2 or XLX, you can choose what connectors you want. But honestly, if you're going to go with like X-Max or something like that, you're going to want Castle or XT. I can't remember what size. I believe it's an XT 120 or 130, and it actually has a spark arrestor, because when you're putting that much, like, that's 22.2 volts. So when you go to connect that in series, there's going to be a spark. Well, the XT actually has a spark arrestor, so there isn't a spark. It actually, if you have that spark and then you take it away, you can actually look at it, because there's so much current. And that'll be done in another video. The difference between current and voltage. There's so much current, or just amps, that it actually looks like there's a little weld that was put there. That's because the spark is so powerful. And X-Max pulls between about 125 to 200 amps at peak throttle. Like if you're at a dead stop and you give full throttle. But now I'm starting to get away from the subject. I want to get back to it. But that's essentially what gear pitch is. It's, like I said, I had a guy named Lenny. He's wanting to get a metal spur for his X-Max. Well, he was confused because X01 has a 54 tooth metal spur. Hot Racing has a X01 metal spur. That's a 54 tooth mod 1. And he was curious. He was like, okay, teeth, mod 1, what is all this? And that's how this video came to be. I know most of this. I don't know the exact numbers when going from module like 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 over to exactly what it is. In metric, I could do the math and figure out exactly what it is, but I don't want to do that right now. This is basically just an understanding of what pitch is. Which, like I said, is the size of the teeth, how many teeth can be put on a 1-inch disc. Like this one right here is a 66 tooth. It's a little bit bigger than an inch, but this is a 48 pitch gear. So if it was a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, there would be exactly 48 teeth on this. I have I believe it's a 55, I'm not sure, yeah, the high-speed gear set on the RS4 Sport 3 Flux. It has I believe a 40 tooth pinion and a 55 tooth spur to really get a high speed. But then you have the differentials and stuff like that. They don't use the same thing. Like every time a new vehicle comes out, the aftermarket has to catch up. So, like with Sin, they use fewer teeth on their differentials. Traxxas uses more. Well, Sin, actually, their differentials are damn near bulletproof. Everybody knows with X-Max, you're going to be replacing differentials quite a bit in that truck's life. I had one, and I ended up trading it for this big beast behind me. It's got a lot of upgrades on it. I'll be doing another video on it. Really going over the upgrades now that I've got an RC room and a studio for a mock studio. But that's really all there is to what gear pitch is. You really don't want to pay attention to the tooth except when trying to figure out what gearing you want to go with. If you go with a bigger pinion, you're going to get a higher top speed. If you go with a smaller pinion, you're going to get more torque. That's opposite with a spur. If you go with a larger spur, you're going to get more torque. If you go with a smaller spur, you're going to get more top speed. I believe that's really all there is to gear pitch. One thing I do want to touch on is the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. One person, don't know his name, but his YouTube username is Mr. Doom6969. He said one thing that would be good for a giveaway is a Traxxas 3.3 Nitro motor. Not a bad idea. I will say this. Some people do like the electric start, the easy start system. Some people, like myself, don't. I prefer pull start, preferably bump start with pull start, so if the car dies, I don't have to go back to my bump start. I can just put the glow plug igniter on and give it a yank and it started again. I don't have to go all the way back to where my, because sometimes I'm walking around when I'm running my cars. I don't think I covered this. Nitros. Nitros use Module 1, which is Mod 1. Most of the time, that's what they're going to be using. Like this right here. I have a couple of these. And this is for a, and this one is funny. The T-Max actually uses 0.8, but the Revo uses Mod 1. Why? I don't know. I just know that usually with Nitros, you're going to see 32 pitch, 0.8, or Mod 1. You're going to want to always consult your owner's manual and find out exactly what pitch the gears are before you go buying different ones to make sure they line up. Also, if you have a 2-speed car where the 2 gears are on the crankshaft, and then like the RS4 Evos, you need to make sure that it actually physically fits, because I'm wanting to go with a higher top speed where I can actually, with the RS4 Evo Plus, you actually can't hear it shift, but it shifts. I want it to have a little bit higher top speed so I can hear the shift and also go. A lot of times you can't even hear the shift unless you're really light on the gas. With T-Max and Revo, you can hear the shift because they're heavier. They have to get up to speed first, which a lot of torque is applied, and then once it gets up to speed, you hear the shift and it goes down quite a few thousand RPMs, and then it gets up to 45-50 miles per hour. But that's pretty much all there is to gear pitch. I hope this helps. If there's any questions, please always feel free to comment. I check my YouTube daily just to make sure if there's any questions, I ask it. I'm always on social media. I'm on I'm on Facebook. If you want to know my name on Facebook and want to follow me, just ask my name. I'm not just going to put it out there for the whole world to know, because everybody knows YouTube goes to everywhere except North Korea. Yeah, they have their own internet system. North Korea is actually behind America by about 20 years. So, that's it for this video. Got any questions? Give me leave a comment. I hope I get some likes. Always hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. Soon there will be videos going over electric systems, like brushless, brushed, LiPo batteries. A lot of people don't understand LiPo batteries, like the C rating. What does that mean? The S rating. What is that? Like 3S, 2S. What is that? So I'll be going over that as well. I've already got several Nitro videos out there, but I'll be doing more of those. I prefer Nitro. I've said that in many videos. I prefer Nitro and gas. I prefer 5th scale over anything, but these little cars can go a hell of a lot faster than 5th scale. Unless you put a 38cc methanol burner in, like a DBXL or a low C5T. But that's it for this video. Like usual, thank you for watching, and peace.